Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for September 21st, 2009. This is Patrick Ceresna. First off, I want to take a look at the S&P 500 using that Spider Exchange Traded Fund symbol SPY. The blue line we have there marks the 109 level on the Spider, which also corresponds roughly to where the Dow would be hitting about 10,000 if we got up into that area. It's an area that a lot of traders are watching. The 110 to 112 area right above there is the home for numerous Fibonacci measurements, including some retracement zones in the bigger picture bear market. So in this overall area right in here is one of the zones where we're looking for a potential market top to actually occur. Now that doesn't mean we're predicting a market top. That's just simply a place where market top could actually occur. There's all sorts of different measurements that actually all complete in that zone. So as that Dow is approaching that 10,000, S&P approaching that 1100, those would be very interesting places for there to be a bear market correction or another bear market move to actually start from. Now there is a possibility that we do have a market melt up. There's something that a lot of people are talking about, and one of the most common areas talked about is this 120 to 122 area on the upside. It's where the real crash actually started from back in September of 2008. It's also one of the fib retracement zones of the entire bear market right up in that zone. We can't rule out the possibility that the S&P makes a thrust up into there, but I don't think it's very probable at this stage. But if we start to see any real momentum catching above that 110, 112 area, then we'll have to revisit that and start planning accordingly. But at this stage, we're very conservative at this level, and we think and at this stage playing outright defense is a prudent thing in our opinion. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is a symbol JLO. And last week we were commenting about the lack of follow-through on the upside, and no sooner did we do that, the next week came a very big, strong thrust to push and temporarily break above that 2021 focal point. We're going to be watching very carefully whether or not this can hold in here, because if the S&P has another week or more of rallying left, then the regional banks may actually still make a push. There are some measured moves on this area right now that are targeting this 23, 24 area. So if the sell-offs here are very shallow, then you can catch those swings higher and probably squeeze a few more dollars out of a move higher. But I'd make sure it's above this 21 level before considering those longs. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Sindex, which is the symbol SIN. This is an index of all the casino, tobacco, and distiller companies. We had two measured moves that we've been watching for the last couple of weeks. The first was that shortened move, which comes into this 108 to 112 area, and a full measured move, which targets all the way up into the 119 to 125. We're now just hovering right at or slightly above that short move at this stage. If the market does have a few more pushes or thrusts left in it, then we should see a completion of that move all the way into the full measured move into the 119 to 125. But really at this stage, we're already considering this move to be complete. So rather than looking at this as a new opportunity, it's actually an opportunity to be scaling out of the position as we're approaching those upper zones. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, which is the symbol RUF, and more or less we've continued to be very range bound in between those two focal points identified right in there. And at this stage, we're at a critical moment at this 1125, 1150 focal point. If the market is able to achieve any momentum above that, then the window opens up for another measured move right up into the overhead resistance in the 13 to 14 area, which means there would be still one more good push that is quite tradable. In the same respects, this would also be a very logical place for a double top to occur. So if in fact we can't get any breaks above this zone and reject right back down, any break below $10 might also see a bigger picture pullback in the home builders. So we're at that critical moment where we're about to find out what's going to play out. Next here, I have a chart of the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is a symbol FUM. We had a really nice thrust higher right up into what we called our measured move. This is exactly where we wanted to be taking profits. This is our objectives are met. There is a lot of momentum in this particular index. We can't rule out the small possibility that we're going to see an extended move. If that's the case, we might see an extended thrust that goes as high as the 115 to 120 area. But nonetheless, I certainly don't think that it's a high probable trade, and this area right up here would be a logical place to be locking in those profits. Finally, I want to take a look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is the symbol UKX. And the FTSE more or less at this stage has had a very strong move. Its relative strength to the other indices have been very strong. It's completing all sorts of measured moves on the upside at this stage, and can in fact actually even extend up to the 530 to 540 area. Really at this stage, the risk reward proposition of continuing to remain long is very poor, and so at this stage it would certainly be prudent to be locking in profits and raising cash on any of these broader indices. That was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.